Hey athletes, here's something I've been kicking around for a while. Could it be the fact that you aren't maintaining weight loss or losing a bunch of weight is because secretly your body knows that sooner or later you're just going to go back? So let me give you an example. Let's say you're 40 years old, okay? 40. You started gaining extra weight when you were 18, so let's just say for the last 22 years, you've been heavier than you'd like to be. You might be even overweight at this point. Now, let's say at 18 years old, you realize, hey, I'm starting to put on some weight, I need to do something. So you did what you thought was going to work, and that is, I'm going to, limit my calories, work out, I'm going to be more active. Great. You went really hard, and 2 weeks in, you're like, oh, okay, I've lost a couple pounds. It's time to reward myself. So you reward yourself, but then inevitably you slip back into just eating like you used to because, you know what, that's really comfortable. It feels really good. Shit. Now I'm back to where I was, or maybe you're a little bit heavier. Okay, so a few months maybe go by and you get sick of it again. So I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna eat better, I'm gonna eat less, I'm gonna lose some weight, and then you lose a few more pounds. Maybe not as many as you were at 18, but a couple weeks in, you're like, oh, this is just too hard, I just can't do it. So then you, again, pick up your eating habits, you stop working out, you put on a few more pounds, and you keep going through this vicious cycle again and again and again. And now you're 40 years old. You've put on an extra 60 pounds, 80 pounds, whatever. But you're telling yourself, I don't get it. I work really hard. I try my hardest. What is my problem, Josh? The problem is you've taught your body, first of all, how to store fat really well, okay? Because you went through phases of eating enough, eating in abundance, and fasting or starving yourself a little bit, and then eating in abundance and fasting, starving for years, for 22 years. You've taught your body a really good way to store body fat and to store it in a way that all I have to do is make it 2, maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, for 2-3 weeks, I'm not going to have a whole lot of food, but you know what? I know that after 2-3 weeks, just going to be eating all over again. I'm going to be able to feast once again, okay? So your body has literally changed itself in order to deal with the fact that, 2-3 weeks out of the year, yeah, I just try to starve myself just for fun. But then, I'll get through that period of time of starving myself with the body fat stores that I have because I know I'm just going to put it right back on, no big deal. I'm just going to go back to binging and eating and feasting until I inevitably gain more body fat. And your body's very smart. First of all, if you think in your brain, I'm going to try to lose some weight, your body just heard you say that, okay? Your body just heard you think that. So your body's going to be like, well, do I really want to lose weight? Or am I going to make it really hard to lose weight? Do I want to lose body fat, muscle? You just basically told yourself, I'm going to starve myself. And you've been doing it for 22 years, so your body just starts getting ready. Okay, let's make sure that, we're ready to hold on to our fat stores for as long as we can. We're going to drop some muscle. We're going to lose your bone density. You know what? Screw it. And again, inevitably, I'm going to be eating some more. Also, every single time you fast a little and then feast, and fast a little and feast, your body gets better at it, better at dealing with it. And one way your body can get better at it is putting more body fat on so that when you go 3 weeks without eating again, it's easier. And every time it's going to get easier. That's how your body adapts. I need to survive. That's your body's number one goal, survival. Then we can worry about procreating and other things like that, but survival. The lowest thing on your body's list is being lean. The lowest thing on your body's list is having extra muscle and being able to do more work if your basic survival isn't there. Okay? So, what I encourage you to do is rather than thinking, I'm just going to go nuts for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the same pattern I've been doing before, figure out what's one thing I can change today. Maybe next week comes around, what's one more thing I can change? What's another thing? Another thing. Thinking, yeah, eventually I'll start losing some weight, but you're doing one little step, okay? Because we have 22 years that you have to overcome. It's going to take a little bit of time. And again, if we, instead of having that Snickers bar every day at 2 o'clock, I switch it for an apple, okay? And instead of not having lunch prepared, I'm going to start preparing lunch. Or for dinner, I'm going to always add a vegetable in. Or every couple of days, I'm going to add a vegetable in. Or I'm going to make sure that I'm drinking more water instead of soda or whatever. I'm going to have some coffee. I'm going to go on some walks. I'm going to do one little step at a time. That way, your body, first of all, it's new. Your body doesn't know what you're really trying to do when you're just doing one little change here and there. And one change is a lot easier than 100. And plus, 100 changes all at once, your body's just going to halt and freeze and hope that you survive, okay? And if your body's just trying to survive, the last thing you're going to do is lose body fat. So again, let your body just adapt to one step at a time. And you know what? If it takes a year, it takes a year, okay? It took you 22 years to gain this weight, so it takes a year. It takes 2 years. So what? Okay? If you want lasting results, it's going to take some time. So again, don't fall into the same path that you always have for the last 22 years. Let's figure out what's the next step or my first step, because that's usually the hardest.